Man, oh man, my voice has to be in shape. Merry Christmas, everybody. Let's go. On your mark, get set. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning. Kevin Durant, you should have left California.
This Bronx sexual upset me in having to bring this teenage idiot from Wisconsin into a sports conversation. Are you really surprised that the Cowboys are giving up on Ezekiel Elliott?
Whoa. Hell no! Well, no one cares about baseball.
Bitch, are you for real?
Oh, yeah! The grind don't stop. But you know something? I got to say it, and I got to say it correctly. Merry Christmas, everybody, and hope y'all have a wonderful Christmas, a wonderful holiday. I know we're going to, because we're going to go do a lot of eating and visiting with family a little bit later. Sorry about that. A little bit later on this afternoon. Good morning! And once again, Merry Christmas and welcome to the Christmas Day Manic Monday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us, making adjustments on the fly. Please bear with us. But you know what? We are here to talk sports, but also here I am to talk about a very, very special project that I have going on in the works right now. And this is a very special edition of the Whip Around. Here's why this is a special edition of the Whip Around, because I promised that I would provide a health update. I never got to it. I will do so in lieu of sports news, which we have a lot of over the next couple of hours. I will do that right here. Right after Thanksgiving, I became very, very sick, and I will be the first to admit that it's my fault. Because I covered a Colts game. If y'all remember, I did the Colts and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. One problem. I was not armed with this, and this is full of ice water. Instead, I armed myself with nothing but caffeine. And that sent me in a downward spiral, a bad one, to the point where all I did was sleep. I didn't do hardly anything around the house. And then I went to the bathroom one morning and I took a fall. That landed me in the hospital for a few days, where I found out that my kidney was failing. And My family, my wife, my children were all scared that I was going to die. And frankly, so was I. But they shoved a lot of fluids in me. I have since given up caffeine, which includes coffee. Even though Invader Coffee is a sponsor of the show, for my health, I have to give it up, and I have to give up the caffeine. And I felt a lot better. I have felt a hell of a lot better. I haven't felt this good in a while. And the other thing I wasn't doing while I was sick was eating. I wasn't eating at all because I was so afraid with my bowel issues that it would I just thought, okay, I'm just not going to deal with the bathroom problems. Well, guess what? I have to deal with them because I got 5 organs missing and my body processes food a lot different than it did once before. So my wife got me on board. She knocked some sense into me and I got the bumps to prove it. And I mean that I do not mean that literally. She gave me a good talking to. My daughters, my son, they all gave me a good talking to. And I'm here and I'm back. And I love feeling this way. I don't have all of my energy back. I don't have all of my wind back because sometimes when I walk, I get very winded, but the hell with it. I just have to I just have to be winded. And also spoke to my wife about being my business manager. And the first thing she told me to do, and I just disobeyed it. And she says, "Don't cuss on your show." Yes, ma'am. I am going to listen. And we're going to put a lot of things together. Speaking of putting a lot of things together, those are my health. I also have leg ulcers, which are being healed, and the folks at the Columbus University Hospital Wound Center have been absolutely fabulous for the first couple of visits. I go twice a week to make sure these things heal and heal properly, and I can take care and I can continue to take care of myself. Speaking of taking care, I have a tremendous favor to ask of all of you who are listening. Today and tonight during my broadcast of the Ravens and the 49ers, I'm going to talk about this. It's the Snowman Stadium Tour, and it's an idea that my wife came up with while I was battling cancer. I want to see as many stadiums as possible, and I want to take my family with me. I want to get a big old bus and just tour the country. Take a year like we had talked about and just see every stadium and every place that we want to see. But there are 3 caveats to this. There are 3 purposes, I beg your pardon, to this. The first one is, of course, to bring in money for my family so I can help them so we can get our heads above water because we're stuck behind a mountain of medical bills and we're stuck behind a mountain of other bills and we just need the help right now. Even though I am working, we just need your help. The second purpose is one that is very, very dear to me, and it's something I've come up with, and it's a combination purpose. I want to motivate a lot of cancer patients, and I want to talk to some cancer survivors as well, and to those who lost family members to cancer. Now that it has been a big part of my life because it took both my parents, and I just want to be a motivational speaker as well as a kick-ass sports announcer. There I go disobeying. I'm sorry, honey. As well as a kick butt sports commentator, as well as a kick butt sports talk host. I want to be a kick butt sports. I want to be a kick butt motivational speaker because I spoke to a little girl. Her name is Addison. She's 8 years old, and I told her, with the permission of her mom, don't let the message that my dad conveyed upon me. Don't let anyone tell you no. Don't let anyone stop you from pursuing your dreams. That's the message I want to give to cancer patients. And whatever money we raise, either during this fundraising phase while we get everything together, as well as on tour, I want to take a big chunk of that and I want to give it to cancer research. There is a cure for the many forms of cancer. For me, it was in the form of an operation, April 4th of 2022, as you all know. And as I talk about this, I got a big smile on my face. But I want to be a positive influence in many ways. And the cancer community is now a community I am a part of. The disability community, since I have been declared disabled, is a community that I am a part of. but I want to motivate them all. And I want to, like I said, take a chunk of this and give it to cancer research. The third purpose is very simple. I have a hero. Her name is Jody. And of course, y'all know Jody is my beautiful wife. On 3 separate occasions, she has saved my life. The last 2 times, 3 occasions she saved my life. And I want to do something special for her, whether it's before we go on tour or during or after. But I want to do something special for her. And I want to use the hashtag, this one's for Jody. I'll talk about that, more about that tonight. But if you want to contribute to the cause, you can do so by going here, GoFundMe.com/F/Snowman Stadium Tour. And we thank you all in advance for all of your contributions and all of your help. All right. That takes care of that. Pause for a break. And when we come back, the playoff picture in week 16 is about as clear as mud. And when I say about as clear as mud, all you have to do is take a look at what happened yesterday down in Miami. Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson returns on this Christmas morning in a flash.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crown they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can be the black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel. Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the 4 Horsemen of Pick'ems. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back. Brian Snow here with you, flying solo on this Christmas morning, trying to get as many people in here as possible. Hope you are enjoying your holiday and enjoying this round of sports talk. And I want to shout out a very special friend. Y'all, well, let me do this the right way. He's been special to me for over 20 years. And of course, I'm talking about the one and only For not only is it Christmas Day, it is also his birthday, and it is his 40th birthday. And Victor, my friend, I hope that this coming year, brings you lots of joy and brings you lots of health, because Victor and I have commiserated about our health problems. In fact, I'm going to see if I can try and get him in here. Well, week 16 is just about in the books. There are 3 games today that we'll go over in just a bit. But The Cowboys failed on the road again. Jason Sanders kicked a 29-yard field goal as time expired. And the Miami Dolphins have clinched back-to-back playoff berths for the first time in a while. They win 22-20 after Dak Prescott took his team downfield and stuck in the end zone and led 20-19. But that defense of Dallas is now very, very suspect. In fact, I am close to calling them frauds. What do I mean I'm close to calling them frauds? I've been calling them frauds. Y'all are going to see a little adjustment here. I've been calling them frauds since week 5 when they went to Santa Clara and got the stomped out of them by my 49ers. All you have to do to beat the Cowboys is lean on them. That's it. Lean on their offensive line and their defensive line, and they'll wear down. And what I saw yesterday, even though they turned away Miami at the goal line, they were turned away at the goal line because they fumbled when it looked like they were going to punch. When it looked like they were going to punch it in. When it looked like they were going to punch it in. So I do not and will not believe in this Cowboy team. I can't. Not after what I saw yesterday. Not after. And here are a couple of narratives that people are going to spin always. First of all, they're going to say Dak Prescott let him down and took the lead. That is MVP caliber type stuff. What? No, it's not. No, it is not MVP caliber type stuff. For if it were, and I mean this with everything in my heart, if it were MVP caliber type stuff, it would not resulted in an You got that? You get cooked in Buffalo and you get kicked in Miami. Dallas cannot win on the road to save their lives unless they're playing a below average team like the San Diego Chargers. They didn't win in Philadelphia. They didn't win in Buffalo, and they didn't win in Miami. In fact, the Cowboys are in the play. The Cowboys are in the playoffs. They have sealed their spot in the playoffs, and we'll go over the current standings in just a moment. But this Cowboy team, and I hate to say this to a lot of fans that think they can, that think they know what the Cowboys are about. The Cowboys are wild card only. A shout to 2Triv211 for joining us on the program. Thank you. Sports PSP poses a question. Who should be the coach of the year? I'll answer that in a moment, and y'all are going to be surprised at my choice. But thanks for the question. I will answer it. Here's Victor Locke to help us out with some Cowboy talk. Happy birthday and Merry Christmas, man.
Thank you so much, and Merry Christmas to you as well. How's it going?
I am great.
Good.
I'm feeling great. Chance to do this, chance to talk to you, chance to do the Ravens and the 49ers tonight. And nice. I believe that's going to be a record-breaking stream for Snowman Multimedia.
I agree.
I believe it's going to be a record breaker, and it's going to give us a lot of help for the Snowman Stadium tour. Let me ask you this question, and I know we talked about it over the course of the weekend. We talked about it through the course of Sunday's game. Why can't the Cowboys win on the road?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well, I have one stat, and I think this is going to seal everything up in a nice little bow.
All right.
Like a Christmas present. 12 carries for 38 yards. Those are stats for Tony Pollard. Those are stats for Tony Pollard.
And they let Ezekiel Elliott go and decided Tony Pollard's going to be their feature back.
And how's that working out for him?
It ain't. It's not working. It's not working out at all for them.
Not at all. And it's ridiculous. Again, Dak threw 32 times. 20-32, 253 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now, no picks. That's great and all.
Yep.
But why are we only running Tony Pollard 12 times?
You supposedly have the offensive line to run the football.
We said this before about how stout of a defense Miami is.
Yes.
So you need to bring that, even if you don't get a whole lot of yardage. The stamina will break for a defense if you continue to keep running the football.
Yep.
You'll start seeing more and more success. So the fact that you don't see that is ridiculous. Now, to be fair, Dolphins didn't do that much better.
Yeah.
Raheem Mostert, 11 carries for 46 yards. But how does he have one less carry but gets more yardage than Tony Pollard?
Offensive line.
There you go.
Offensive line just kept opening holes for him. But to be fair, to talk about this Miami team, even though they've clinched the playoff berth, I believe they are frauds. They depend on speed instead of a complete offense. And Mike McDaniel, who was the 49ers offensive coordinator, for a long time kept saying, and he continued to say, he continued to lead, I beg your pardon, a complete 49er offense. And this is when they had Raheem Mostert.
Yeah.
Why don't they use him now?
I don't know.
Why don't they use him now?
It's
Dolphins are the and here's the thing: the Dolphins are the 5th best rushing team in the NFL, averaging 136 yards a game. Rushing 136 yards a game.
It's terrible.
It is, man. It is. And a lot of this has to deal with the fact with something Cole has said, and he has continued to say, teams are allergic to running the football.
Because of how the major networks, and you already know who I'm talking about,
you ain't got to tell me twice,
have portrayed that running the football is not necessary, and have uplifted the shotgun deep bomb pass happy league we have now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. The top 4 teams that run the football: Baltimore Ravens, Chicago Bears, Detroit Lions, and of course the San Francisco 49ers. The Ravens and the 49ers clash tonight, and that's going to be a running clock because both teams love to run the football.
Exactly.
Back to the Cowboys. I believe this is a one and done team, and I'm talking wild card only. This is a one and done team, and they simply don't care about winning championships. You've talked about this.
Yeah. So my man Dees talked about how the reason why we're looked at as America's team is because we have more primetime games. We're on more Sunday night football, more Monday night football. I'm like, that doesn't mean anything to me.
It really doesn't, because it's how they perform in those primetime games. Hey, Pizzle 90 joining us from Florida. What's going on, Pizzle? And how about those Miami Dolphins? Absolutely. Jason Sanders kicked 5 field goals yesterday, including the walk-off winner. Here's the other problem I see with the Cowboys, and I see this defensively. They allowed Miami to walk right down the field to get in field goal range. There was no resistance whatsoever from the Cowboys.
Well, here's the thing. It doesn't matter how great your defense is if your offense is getting 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, punt, fumble, all that. Your defense is going to stumble. Your defense is going to start getting fatigued.
And they got worn down.
They need that time to rest up, to be able to get some wind in them, get a drink. That's why you need to have long, sustained offensive drives, which is why again, running the football helps.
And it's not helped them. They moved on from Ezekiel Elliott, and we pretty much knew they were, but you trusted Tony Pollard.
Right.
Why?
You didn't even
Why?
think to get another running back in the draft just in case Tony Pollard experiment.
You said that too during our draft coverage. You said that exact statement. You said that exact statement, and they completely ignored some of the running backs in the later rounds that were available. They got Deuce Vaughn out of Kansas State, that little lightning bug, which who I love watching at Kansas State. They don't use him.
Nope.
They do not use him. That's a problem to me.
That's a big problem.
That's an absolute problem to me.
That's a big problem, especially when you're going later on in the playoffs. You're going to have more blitz heavy teams.
And it's not even going to be blitz. It's not even going to be blitz heavy. It's the fact that they have incredible front four or front seven, i.e., San Francisco, and they just don't know how to handle it.
Right?
Does week 5 mean anything to you? I know it means something to you. You were with me.
Yeah,
you were with me.
It's sad.
It is, man. Now. It is, man.
And I think the Cowboys are unfortunately going to be a one and done team unless they get really lucky in the divisional round and don't get San Francisco.
You know what's going to you know the narrative everybody was spinning after the Cowboys blew out the Eagles. Everybody was placing them in the NFC East title. They were placing them as the number 2 seed, which they're not going to get now after this tumble.
Right.
And they have virtually no shot to claim the NFC East. None. They have virtually no shot to clinch the NFC East.
No. Because even as bad as the Eagles have been, they went on such a hot streak to begin with.
Right.
That no one's going to catch them.
It's sad seeing this happen to the Cowboys, that they care more about money than they care more about money than winning.
Well, look at where the top is. Look at the top.
It starts at the top and it filters its way down.
Gerald does not care about winning. As long as he can fill up AT&T Stadium, as long as he get people to go to Cowboys games and say, how about them Cowboys? He does not care.
That is so true. And it's so sad.
And it seems like no one else in his family could either get this through to him or they're in the same boat. Because at this point, if I'm a family member of Gerald, I'm like, look, the reason why people love the Cowboys so much is because they were winning championships. We need to get back to that.
Why do you think I love my 49ers? They were the first team to win 5 Super Bowls. We'll talk about the 49ers later, but they're steamrolling toward their 6th Super Bowl. And they're facing their last obstacle to claim the number 1 seed.
Yep.
Yeah, and for a while after the Eagles game, after the 49ers beat up after the Cowboys, I beg your pardon, beat up the Eagles. You realize some of the members of the Moronic Republic of Cowboy Nation were placing them as the number 1 seed.
I know. I know. Because they immediately called the Niners a fluke and they called the Eagles
a fluke.
Yeah.
A fluke.
A fluke.
They're calling us a fluke and we put a foot in their rear end.
Of course. Micah Parsons said it already.
Oh, laugh now. The laugh now, cry later.
Yes. Yes.
They keep playing like this, they're not going to get to San Francisco. They're not going to have a chance to get back to Santa Clara. And it's horrible.
They're probably not. They're probably not going to get back there. And it's so upsetting for actual rational Cowboy fans who would like to see them get back there. To continuously have to be, lambasted with this foolishness.
And it is foolishness.
A team that is not ready for prime time. A team that is not ready for playoff prime time.
Playoff prime time and the Cowboys, they don't go together in the same sentence.
Doesn't seem like it. At what point they did. At what point they did.
Yeah, and I go back to week 5. They were 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
They were feeling good.
Which it should have been 4-0.
Mm-hmm.
It should have been 4-0.
Arizona woke
They
them
should
up.
not. They should not have lost to the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Even though
You're
yes,
right.
the Cardinals
Should
were
not have
making.
lost.
Even yes, the Cardinals were making some big moves, which helped them look better.
Mm-hmm.
They still shouldn't have lost to them.
Exactly. They should not have lost to the Cardinals. And once they lost to the Cardinals, it kind of, if you think about it, kind of derailed them. Even though they're 10-5 right now.
It did. And how you doing, Sig Diggy? Always
Sig Diggy in the house.
Norway.
Sig Diggy in the house, joining us from Norway. Thank you to TwoTriv211 for the Cash App. And let me answer a question before we go to break, and people are going to be surprised at my answer. Who should be the coach of the year? Kyle Shanahan. But he won't get one vote because they're going to use the narrative of, oh, he has a stacked team, and use that against him. Think about what Kyle Shanahan's had to do.
If you have a stacked team, see, this is the thing I don't like. I don't like these out-of-pocket excuses that people like to use to denigrate another team. Like, easy schedule, stacked team. You control what's in your control.
Yep.
You go out there, you coach your best game, you play your best game, you win your best game.
You play the team that's in front of you.
Exactly.
You play the team that's in front of you. I have never, with the teams that I have seen over the years, I've never made the excuse of a soft schedule, never will make it.
Right.
Because if that's the case, you go right to the top of the league.
I don't
You
understand
go right to the top. Yeah, you go right to the top of the league and tell them, hey, this is too soft of a schedule. But
And
they
even-
make the schedule and you play the team that's in front of you.
Exactly.
Period.
Exactly. No one else. You can't sit there and use, oh, this is a weak schedule, or they have a weak schedule in front of them to try and make that a argument for why they're not as good as they are.
Exactly.
You're supposed to beat the weaker teams.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the stronger teams, that's a toss-up because they're both strong.
Exactly. Like the one we have tonight.
Right.
Like the one we have tonight. And you and I will talk about that a little later. We got Ryan McCarthy scheduled to come on in a couple of minutes, so we're going to take a break. Victor, hang around with us.
Mm-hmm.
And when we come back, we'll sip a little coffee with McCarthy after this.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the Four Horsemen of Pick'ems. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube. Poppy J.
You got the option to cry for the government. You got the option to protest. You got the option to keep buying. But this is also an option.
Wise El Jefe.
We're the first tech geeks. We're the first gamers. We're the first everything. Everything. Like Gen X's, we are the ones.
BS3 Network proudly presents the crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that fire. Bobby J and Wise El Jefe, Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back, along with Victor Locke. Brian Snow here with you, aka the Snowman. Tonight, oh boy, big one. 7 p.m. tonight. We have the Ravens and the 49ers. Our pregame coverage starts with the BetUS.com pregame show at 7, and we'll take you all the way up to kickoff at 8:15 from Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, and that place is going to shake. We'll have a live preview of that later. During the pregame show, you'll see Mike. You'll hear Mike debate. You also hear Victor, and a couple other people that are lending their support to the broadcast. And also tonight is the official launch of the Snowman Stadium Tour fundraiser. We'd love to bring in $5,000 tonight, and that's to help my family, and a chunk of that's going to go toward cancer research. So lend us a hand if you can. Andrew is with us, says Snowman and crew, Merry Christmas. Long time no chat. Good to have you, Andrew.
Been a while.
Andrew's been working very, very, very hard. Andrew, you are a Devils fan, are you not? I want to be sure I got that right. All right, I'll share a quick story before Ryan McCarthy just messaged. He said he'd be on the tick, but I'm going to share this little story. Speaking of Christmas, 1995, I got very, very sick. And I didn't know what was going on. It's one of the, you ever get so sick that you don't want to get out of bed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was me. I didn't want to get out of bed at all. I did not want to get out of bed at all. And it's like my mother was mad at me because she thought I was being antisocial. Mom, I'm not being antisocial. Trust me. I just don't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my cousin came over and a couple other people came over and they said, you need to come down and socialize with us. I don't want to, Mom. I don't feel good. Well, Dad convinced me to come downstairs. I did. I opened my presents. And speaking of presents, here's a very cool gift that my wife got me.
Mm-hmm.
Dancing microphone with the guitar. And it lights up too. She finds these crazy, crazy gifts and she knows I love them.
Mm-hmm.
So Dad figured out I was really sick because you know my parents' house and the staircase that leads upstairs to my old room. I got dizzy fast.
Mm-hmm.
Climbing up the stairs and climbing down the stairs. And I didn't know what to do. Finally, my dad came upstairs with a concoction. And he said, here, drink this. I drank it. Lay down a couple of hours. I remember seeing one play from the Orlando Magic and the Houston Rockets and one play from the Arizona Cardinals and the Dallas Cowboys. And to this day, I still don't know what he gave me. Whatever he put in that concoction, he took to his grave. But then again, that's Sarge.
Yeah.
He comes up with stuff and he won't divulge his secrets.
Right.
And sometimes I think, why am I surprised? All right. Speaking of surprise, the Jets gave us a surprise yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Big one. Let's sip some coffee. Merry Christmas, McCarthy. How are you, man?
Ho, ho, ho.
No, he is not the Grinch, but he is the international Irish Italiano supervillain, Espresso McCarthy.
What would be his weapon?
A shillelagh and a Fiat.
A shillelagh and a Fiat. All right, McCoffee. Which way do you want to lean today? After what and I will preface very, very cautiously. Surprise you?
Mm-hmm. Surprise me. What the heck? It's Christmas.
What the? Okay, he says, what the heck? How do you explain what happened yesterday in the Meadowlands?
Makes sense.
Because the first update I got during the game I was covering yesterday, it was 20-0 in favor of the Jets.
Yep.
Then it was 27-7.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a halftime score. I stupidly pulled a Howard David and thought, okay, game, set, match. Should have known better. I got done with my game. I decided, okay, let me get some bonus coverage. And then I saw the Redskins take the lead, 28-27.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just sitting there going, oh, man. When I saw the Redskins take the lead, I had two thoughts. One, it's the Jets. And two, how much steam is coming out of Ryan McCarthy's ears?
Mm-hmm. Not much. Not much. Considering, look, I said this in a friend's chat. I said, yeah, the Jets blowing a 20-point lead is the cherry on top of the 12-layer cake that is crap. That is the 2023 season for the Jets.
Yes. But then we got a Christmas miracle in the Meadowlands.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't call it a miracle.
I'm trying to be nice.
I know you're trying to be nice considering the season they've had. I understand.
Yes, I am trying to be nice. But then the Jets got a miracle, went flying down the field and banged home the winning field goal, and they win 30-28.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the end of this game and I'm going, what?
How did that happen?
The confusion in the voice of one Bob Wischusen, because I caught the Jets radio feed, said it all.
Yeah, it was that kind of it was that type of game. It was that type of game. Oh, and I forgot something. I'll be right back. Hold on. Take me off camera. I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, Ryan takes care of what he needs to take care of. We'll stay with the Jets, and I caught the television feed. It was on CBS. Shout out to CBS and Spiro Ditas for the call. And I caught, I think it was 98.7 on ESPN in New York for the Jets call with Bob Wischusen. Uh-oh.
What?
I see what he's got now.
Oh, no.
I think you're muted, dude. The Hartford Whalers. Man, you showed me that in the chat yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, that is so cool."
Yeah, my nephew got it for. Well, I'll give you the story. My nephew, he ordered 4 hats from 47 Hat Company.
Mm-hmm.
They're on a sale. 4 hats for $30, but you don't know what your hat you're gonna get.
Right.
So we went up getting 2 Harper Whalers hats, and he's like, "Oh, perfect. I'll give it to Uncle Ryan. He'll appreciate it." And I did.
Nice.
I love old school hockey. No, I'm not becoming a Carolina Hurricanes fan.
I know. You're a pure Devils fan.
Yeah.
When do we get another donut podcast? When do we get another
donut? I'm trying to figure that out. I'm trying to figure out the logistics with that, but I think Dustin and I are rolling with no credentials required really hard. And by the way, show announcement. We're going live on Saturday mornings at 10, starting on January 6th, as well as the weekday show.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Saturday mornings are fun.
They are
what
fun.
we call now a double shot of McCoffee.
Mm-hmm. Double shot of McCoffee. Yes.
Double shot of espresso McCoffee.
What else you got for us, Ryan?
I don't know. I was trying to think of the top 5 sports stories from the year, and trying to go back in the recesses of my mind this weekend was it caught up to me. Yesterday was really busy. I had 2 church services. I had a family get together. Saturday was kind of busy too. So I was trying to think of some of the top sports news stories of 2023, and there were.
And I'm glad one of them is not when you were on a retreat and you were doing
Get this off. Gang.
Okay.
Yep. Blessed be the gang.
Listen, when he told me that story, I died laughing.
Because I had a bone to pick with you. We were like, "What? What'd I do?"
Exactly.
I'm like, I told you the story, and you were dead. You were dead.
I was dead. So, what'd you come up with for the most influential sports stories of the year?
I thought of a couple. One of them was the Vegas Golden Knights. They're Stanley Cup.
There you go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
and if you think about it, it was very unlikely.
Hold on. I forgot to preface this with black men and a white man.
Wait.
Hockey?
Just a minute. Just a minute. All right. Now I'm ready. Do it.
Wait. 2 black men and a white guy talking hockey?
Talking knowledgeable hockey? I'll share a story. When the Blackhawks won the Cup in 2010, I'm driving from Chicago to Gary.
Mm-hmm.
Who's Gary?
I heard Gary, Indiana.
I know. I was just not sure.
I know. Brain fart.
I got the Christmas spirit. I got the Christmas spirit in me. What can I say?
I got you. When they scored the winning goal, John Weideman, I was listening to John Weideman on WGN. When they scored the game winner, the cup winner from Patrick Kane, I lost it. And I'm honking my horn all over the place to the point where people were pulling over going, "What's wrong?" And I just yelled out loud, "Blackhawks just won the Stanley Cup." Every horn in front of me got the message. And we were all celebrating. Victor calls me and he says, "Why are you out of breath?" I said, "Do you know what happened?" "Do you know what happened tonight?" No. I was kind of at work."
Yeah.
"Good.
Kinda.
Get your ass over here and I'll tell you." Victor
I
hangs
work
up the
nights.
phone. Yep.
Yeah.
Victor hangs up the phone, gets done with work, races over to my apartment. I'm dead to the world. I'm dead asleep. Somehow Victor found out what happened, and he comes out with a stack of pizzas and like 2 cases of beer.
Wow.
Needless to say, I didn't go back to sleep. Yeah, but the Golden Knights, heck of a run. And I got one with that, Texas Rangers.
Yeah, that was one of the ones I was thinking of.
And their World Championship run. You can also include the Denver Nuggets.
Yes.
Yeah. Because they eliminated in the Western Conference Final, Yo Kang.
In a sweep, mind you.
In a sweep.
In a sweep.
In a sweep.
It was. I don't pay much attention back to the NBA anymore, but that was incredible. That was incredible.
And in my office, when that series was going down, everybody kept saying it's a foregone conclusion. Kang is going to the finals.
In your office,
my Kango win championship. My Kango win championship.
Oh God! Why were they thinking that in your?
Because
I'm gonna open Pandora's box with this question, but I'm gonna go with it. Why were they thinking that in your office?
Because
no one through you that I know some of the people there now.
Yep. Because they had no faith in Nikola Jokic, like absolutely none. It was like, ain't no way that white boy gonna stand in the way of Yo Kang.
Oh.
And Nikola Jokic just kept saying, "He don't know me very well, do he?"
He's like, "I got you. I got something for you."
What's another one? What's another a big influential sports story? We got 4 of them already.
I was the way I was going was Joker. Not Jokic, but the other Joker. And his name escapes me all of a sudden. Win the U.S. Open, men's U.S. Open, after being banned for 3 years. Djokovic, Novak Djokovic.
Novak Djokovic.
Yeah, after being banned from playing in the U.S. Open for 3 years, goes back and just absolutely kicks everyone's butt. Mops the floor with all the competition.
He mops the floor with everybody.
Yeah, to which I stand up and applaud, because that guy was it was unfair for him not to play. Right. Absolutely unfair for him not to play in the US Open for almost going on 3 years. I thought it was nuts. I just hate that we have this is the era we currently live in.
It is.
And then he comes back and he just absolutely just destroys the competition on his way to another Grand Slam championship.
Destroyed them, crushed them,
the floor with them. All right, I gotta share this. When we were in North Carolina, creeping toward Christmas, the Niners played the Saints, but we had to work. So Jody says, "Why don't we get a nap? Get a nice long nap, and we'll be ready to go tonight." Well, as I said, the Niners were playing the Saints down in New Orleans, down in the Superdome. And I'm trying my best. I mean this. I'm trying my best not to wake up my wife. Well, how do I put this? George Kittle made that beast mode run, that beast mode catch, where he dragged 3 Saints with him. And I'm practically jumping up and down in bed, and all of a sudden I just froze. And I look at my wife, and she's still out. I don't know how.
Yeah. You're like yeah. Oh.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. George Kittle's making the play of the year, and I'm like, and
I'll tell you a similar story. I think I may have told it before on the show, but I'll tell it again because it's similar to that. So 2000 Stanley Cup Finals, Game 6, going to double overtime.
Yes.
I'm still at my parents' place, and my brother, who just got discharged from one of my older brothers, just got he was discharged from the Navy about 6 or 7 months before. Honorable discharge. Shout out to my biggest brother Jeremy. We're watching the Stanley Cup Final, and it's really tight, and back in those days where the Devils are being criticized for playing boring hockey. But it wasn't boring. So
it wasn't boring at all.
So Patrick Elias throws that masterful pass out to Jason Arnott. Jason Arnott scores the goal, game-winning goal. My brother and I just went, yes. It's probably about 1:30 in the morning, 1:30 a.m. Forgetting that my parents, well, at least my dad, is asleep upstairs.
Yes.
I'm telling the story.
Yes.
Merry Christmas to him. And I forgot he was upstairs. And the next morning, my mom and my dad told me, like, what was going on last night? I said, Devils won the Stanley Cup. My dad said, I was going to slam on the banister and tell you to shut up and let me go to sleep, but your mother stopped me. Because she knew.
Yep. Well, Victor got me one day when we were living together in Gary, and I don't know. I had just been in the dumps all day. And he said, I got something that'll help. And I'm like in tears. And I'm like, there's nothing that's going to help. Well, Victor fooled me because he happened to yank out the World Series from 2005.
Mm-hmm.
I know this. I know this will cheer you up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he plugged in the DVD, and all of a sudden, I'm just glued to the television.
Because it was a documentary basically covering that entire season.
Yes.
Even some of the stuff beforehand about how it was projected that the Cubs were going to go.
Yes,
we're going to win. We're going to win it.
And then Ryan has the exact reaction I had. But then it got to this point right here.
Pass Jenks up the middle of the infield. Uribe has it. He throws. Out! A White Sox winner and a world championship. The White Sox have won the World Series, and they're mobbing each other on the field.
And it's just reminded me of my dad, and I'm sitting there laughing and crying and remembering him. And Victor then says, "Okay, you're good now. Now go get us food." I'm like
snap
what?
out your funk. I'm hungry.
Yes, that's exactly the message I got. But bless you, Victor, for that. And I looked at Victor and I said, "Like what?" And Victor just looks at me, bless his heart. Victor just looks at me and says, "Look, I want food, and you're gonna get us some food. But it ain't my turn to get food. Who brought you lunch?" Damn.
Got you there.
He did.
Are those new headphones there, Snowman?
Mm-hmm.
Did you get them for Christmas?
No, Dollar General came to the rescue after my
right.
earbuds decided to bust.
Ugh.
I don't like earbuds anymore. I don't like doing what John Sterling does with his earbuds, and he's got a big fat microphone in front of him at Yankee Stadium. No, I like the over the heads. I like the
connected headset.
Yeah.
I
like being tethered to.
Yeah, I got the Raycons, and I'll put it like this: they sound great, but don't believe the hype. Because
actually,
I figured that.
You do?
I've got Raycons on.
You do?
Yeah, these are the everyday headphones. Those are good. Solid
headphones.
The
headsets, yeah, but the earbuds are a little bit different.
Well, I've got the earbuds too. Those are my gym. Those are my my workout buds. Yeah, I got those.
Gotcha.
They're decent headphones.
Do they ever like cut out while you're
like very briefly, but then it comes back?
Because
like I'll hear one ear, it'll go out, then the other it'll come back, and then the other ear will cut out, and it'll come back. But it's just only when it first connects.
Because mine has one.
Connect,
mine has an issue where one cuts out completely, and then the other cuts out, but you get like maybe every third word.
Yeah, you should definitely look into getting new ones.
Yeah, those need to.
I think they'll replace them for free. That's what happened with the last pair set I had. The base got lost, so they just wound up replacing them.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything can be fixed. Everything can be fixed.
Yes.
All right.
Before I go, I do have one more question before I go. We'll make it Christmas related. What's the best sports related Christmas item you've ever received?
Tournament table from Fisher Price.
A Joe Montana autographed football and a Michael Jordan autographed basketball.
Well, it wasn't the tournament table. It was like a knockoff of the tournament table because it had 6 games, not 3. Because you guys remember the tournament table.
Yes.
Which was a pool table, a ping pong table, and then had air hockey. This one had pool, air hockey, ping pong, foosball, and basketball. So it's 5 in 1.
Nice.
It was so. It was so
nice. Very nice. Very nice. Ryan McCarthy joining us as he does every Monday. Check him out at No Credentials Required is going live every Saturday beginning
January 6th.
January 6th.
So we'll have not one, but two shows a week.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Thank you, partner. We love you. Merry Christmas. We appreciate you.
Merry Christmas, fellas.
Merry Christmas.
Take care.
Damn you and that go get me food and I'm hungry. That's the dirtiest trick you've ever pulled on me.
Mm-hmm.
It worked. It worked, but it's a dirty trick. That's all right. That summer, I got him back with a lot of Skull Vikings. I'll explain that fun story when you all get back. Second half of Snowman in the Morning on this Christmas Day after this.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids from the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze claw.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do two circles, and that translates to I can beat up black people.
As he takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel. Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the Four Horsemen of Pick'ems. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
5 minutes after the hour, don't go away. Hour 2 begins with a snowman's take and a preview of the game of the year. Hour 2 begins after this.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
If you talk, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, they hear you. You can do it if you try.
He was only 58 years old when he passed away. That outcome could have been different.
Colorado happens to be one of the worst states for radon levels.
It's in our ground, and it seeps up.
The more you breathe radon, the more chance you have of DNA being hit and the cell mutated. The EPA estimates 22,000 lung cancer deaths a year caused by radon.
We all make choices. When it comes to alcohol, kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Have fun. Hey, have a seat for a second. Remind me about that party again?
Alex is just...
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. They want guidance and honest answers to their questions. And it makes a difference when the message is consistent and part of everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Victor and Brian back here with you for hour 2, and let's just dive right into it. Y'all know what the deal is. Y'all know what time it is. It's Monday Night Football tonight. The Baltimore Ravens, #1 seed in the AFC, against the San Francisco 49ers, #1 seed in the NFC. I will have live coverage of that tonight beginning at 7 o'clock. Take you to kickoff at 8:15. But before I go any further, let me shout out my beautiful wife, Jody, who has allowed me to do this, and she's going to take Sonya to work. I will pick her up tomorrow morning and resume regular duty. So, Jody, baby, thank you so much from my heart for allowing me to do this game tonight. This is one that I had to have. She always teases me about my love of the 49ers, but hey, she's allowing me to do this. And you know how a lot of people think, oh, she's allowing you. No, it's not. It's just the fact that I talk to my wife about any and everything. Okay.
And she knows what your love is too.
And she knows what my passion is. And I mean, hell, she told me to chase my dreams. All right. She's giving me different game plans, but she told me to chase my dreams. But that's tonight. Let's dive in.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell do you explain this game?
So I guess I'm not talking about the NBA games today.
Who the hell cares? Why should I care? Why should I care about that? Why should I care when the one game I want to watch is one I'm going to be behind the microphone for?
Fair. I mean, we will see the Nuggets taking on the Warriors, so we'll see how that plays.
I'll pay attention to that. I'll be at my in-laws' house, but I'll pay attention to that through the alerts. But the one I'm going to be glued to watch, no matter what the result is, and thinking about it honestly, I don't have a stake in the matter, even though my 49ers are playing, for 2 reasons. One, it'll be the first of 2, because the second one will be in February, and 2, it's going to be a hell of a game.
It's going to be one heck of a game.
I love the Baltimore Ravens. I love what they're doing as an organization, man. They're getting it together just like the 49ers are.
This is going to end up being like a 90s style Super Bowl preview.
Isn't it?
It's like how the 90s used to be for Super Bowls is what I think this game's going to be. And I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to this. Oh my Lord, I'm looking forward to this, man. I mean, we could break this down 6 days from Sunday, which is going to happen tonight. I'm saving it all for the BetUS.com pregame show. We could break this down 6 days from Sunday, and it still won't be enough.
No.
It still won't be enough to illustrate how big of a game this is, part one.
Mm-hmm.
And part two, how much fun this game is going to be.
Oh, this game's going to be amazing. I can't wait for it.
You have two of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, Lamar Jackson and Brock Purdy. And I have a snowman's take about Brock Purdy aimed at Cam Newton and others. That'll be next segment. But we're talking Ravens and 49ers. And I'll throw this back up here. Man, how do you begin to break this down? How do you begin to illustrate? How do we begin to illustrate how big of a game this is? And never mind the enormity of the game, the players are looking forward to it.
Here's the thing also. You're talking about two teams who have gone through kind of a renaissance. Of course, we know about what happened with
the
49ers, them basically rebuilding their team from scratch after the Colin Kaepernick era.
After that debacle, yes.
And the Ravens, who have been mired by injuries. Now they're all healthy. Lamar Jackson has proven, and I did this during one of our picks. I gave him a round of applause because he basically proved that he was worth his money. He got his pay. He got his pay.
Mm-hmm.
He got his money, and he's showing people why he deserved it.
Yes, that he is.
The same thing with Brock too.
Man, what can't you say about Brock Purdy? What can't you say about Brock Purdy?
A strong quarterback with a cannon for an arm, stays in the pocket, can be mobile when need be, but doesn't have to be. And then there's CMC, Christian McCaffrey.
Oh man.
I mean, my God.
Woo. And you know the biggest thing about Christian McCaffrey? He's been healthy.
Yes.
He's been healthy. And we said it when we talked about him in Carolina. He was being run down and run over. And the end of the McCaffrey era in Carolina for me came in 2020 when he came back too soon from an injury and played against the Kansas City Chiefs. And then got injured again, and we never saw him again.
Right.
That spelled the end for me with McCaffrey in Carolina. But now he's back home in the Bay. He's under Kyle Shanahan's system, and he has a plethora of running backs, but we know McCaffrey's the main running back. We got Elijah Mitchell. We got Jordan Mason. Anybody that touches the ball for the 49ers is going to run the ball, and the same holds true at Baltimore. Baltimore has the best rushing offense in the NFL. Can't deny that.
Right.
Won't deny that. And like I said, you could break this game down 6 days from Sunday or 7 days from Monday, since it's Monday, and we still won't have enough information.
No. Not to mention the receiving core that the Niners have.
Now, I will say the Niners are dealing with a key injury, and that is Eric Armstead. The word has just come down. He is out for this game. But there's a fellow by the name of Javon Kinlaw, and let's throw Javon Kinlaw some flowers.
Yes.
And how he's come on. You won't see it in the stat sheet, but you'll see it on the field. Him being healthy, him contributing to any and everything that the 49ers are doing. He's going to have a big role tonight for them.
Yes. Not only that, him and Nick Bosa basically working together.
Not to mention Chase Young.
Yes.
Not to mention, and Chase Young is going to be licking his chops to come after Lamar Jackson. He's going to be licking his chops.
And
now,
then,
go ahead.
And then you look at, like I said, the receiving core for the Niners: Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, and then of course you got a tight end named George Kittle, who has been an animal, a literal animal.
Oh my God, George Animal Kittle. Woo! You want to talk about a renaissance?
Yeah.
Garoppolo was not using him at the tail end before he got injured, but he gets hooked up with Brock Purdy.
Yep.
And all hell and the animal's back.
And he looks like a Pro Bowler.
He is a Pro. He doesn't look like a Pro Bowler. He is a Pro Bowler. And Isaiah Likely for Baltimore, speaking of tight ends, who's stepping in for the great Mark Andrews, is proving his worth in that offense for Baltimore. But you got to give it to You got to give it to the Ravens for this reason. They are going through what the Niners went through a couple of years ago. Yes. A ton of injuries, and they're still chugging along.
Yep.
Because they lose J.K. Dobbins for the year, and you're thinking, okay, that's the end of Baltimore. No, Gus Edwards steps up.
Right.
And Gus Edwards has, if nothing else, Gus Edwards has been consistent, and he's provided a consistent threat for the number one rushing offense. Here's the problem for Baltimore. I am afraid, and I don't want this to happen. I am afraid that they will become too Lamar Jackson dependent in terms of running the football. Is he dynamic at doing that? Hell yeah.
Yeah, but you want that to be a surprise. You don't want to open up with that.
Exactly. You don't want to open up with Lamar Jackson running the football, because if that is the case, that means the 49ers pressure.
Yep.
And you know they're the lead. They blitz the least.
They blitz the least, but when they blitz, you feel it.
Mm-hmm. And boy, and you've seen it. You've seen it with me. You've been on air with me.
Mm-hmm.
Once the 49ers get home, you can forget it.
Shut the door. Shut the door.
Mm-hmm. Now let's take nothing away from the Ravens defense either, because they don't blitz all that much either, and they have people that can get home as well.
Yes, that's true too.
So this is the most evenly matched game of the year. The most evenly matched game of the year. And the scary part about it, and I'll say it again, this could be the first of two. And the second one in Las Vegas.
The second one,
that's how strong these two teams are.
The second one could be Super Bowl Sunday.
And I hope it is.
I do too, but I'm not counting out the Eagles. I can't.
You know what? I don't want to count out the Eagles either. I don't. Well, they're playing the Giants today.
So
and we know they're going to
be an easy win.
Yeah, they're going to beat the Giants. But it's just how stagnant the Eagles have become offensively. Anyway, that's our we'll dive back into this a little more. I got Snowman's Take coming next segment, but let's dive into the Eagles. That's our Monday night preview. The Ravens and the 49ers. I'll have a special stream for that. Let's see if we can raise $3,000 for the Snowman Stadium tour. Stream begins at 7 p.m. with the pregame show and the fan chat. I expect Victor to be there. I expect Charles Faulkner to be there, and it'll be a dual cast because Charles Faulkner will join me. It'll be on his channel, and we want everybody. We want this to be a record-breaking stream. All right? We want every stream from here on out to be a record-breaking stream. 7 o'clock tonight. What's wrong with the Eagles? I mean, they're playing the Giants today.
Right.
They're playing the Giants today, and I think it's a 4:30 game. The Eagles have become stagnant.
Yes.
And that frightens me.
Yes. They have relied on Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
They have almost completely abandoned the run, and the gross misuse of DeAndre Swift is maddening.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
I mean, the fact that everybody went off on Thursday about this.
We all did.
Yes.
We all
should have been.
Myself included. Because
I
know
Cole did. Coach Dante, everybody. Playmaker did too.
Oh man, Playmaker went in.
But the real issue is just a gross misuse of one of your steals. I mean, when we saw from the draft what the Eagles did, we thought, well, they're going to run away with this, with the entire league. They're going to run away with the entire conference. But something has happened.
And I'll tell you exactly what happened. The 49ers socked them in the mouth and kicked them all over the field.
Yeah, but
I'll tell you exactly what happened. They socked them out.
his thing, that should have been just a speed bump. The Eagles lost right after that.
True. You're right.
I mean,
it should have been nothing but a speed bump. You're
say
absolutely right. It should have been nothing. It should have been nothing but a speed bump.
Say what you want about the Cowboys after they got their teeth kicked in by the 49ers. We came back and won the next game, even though it was a garbage team.
Yeah, against the Chargers.
We still came back and won. And it's relying too heavy on the pass.
Yes.
Relying too heavy on Jalen Hurts, which is now starting to hurt them.
Way too heavy. Way too heavy on the pass.
And their coach is not doing them any favors. And I agree.
And their offensive
McCain.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's oh boy. There's so many problems to fix. The Eagles still have the inside track to the NFC East, and thank God for that. Okay.
Right.
They still have the track to the NFC East.
Yes.
But it's when they get to, and they've clinched a playoff spot. Let's not get it twisted. They have clinched a playoff spot. It's when they get to January where the problem is. Let's take a break. When we come back, my thoughts on Brock Purdy, and I'm directing this toward all the Brock Purdy haters, and there are plenty. Back after this.
Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pistol 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the Four Horsemen of Pick'ems. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube. Poppy J.
You got the option to cry for the government. You got the option to protest. You got the option to keep buying. But this is also an option.
Wise El Jefe.
We're the first tech geeks. We're the first gamers. We're the first everything. Everything. Like Gen X's, we are the ones.
BS3 Network proudly presents the crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that fire. Poppy J and Wise El Jefe. Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Victor and Brian, Ryan Shotgun with you for this Christmas Day episode. Jay Spivey coming along in about 9 minutes. But I have a few things to say, and Victor's going to help me.
Before we do that, let's give some Christmas shout outs, of course, to the EP of all EPs, Mr. Cole Johnson.
Yes, sir. He's
well
enjoying his Christmas. Thank you, Cole. You know, if it weren't for Cole Johnson, I wouldn't be doing this show the way in the fashion that it is, because he brought the order to the show as well as the entertainment. So Cole, love you very, very dearly. I hope this partnership continues for another 100 years, man.
Same. Also to the hardest working super hacker and the broadcaster with the protection program, that's the playmaker.
That's the
Bizarro
playmaker.
one himself, Mr. Wise El Jefe, Cool Breeze, and the Coach Dante and Cool Breeze McCain, as well as Chris Dietz, and of course, one of our favorite people to see on Friday, and that is the one, the only, the Bronze God, Miss Chris Face.
Yeah, all of them make Snowman in the Morning what it is. And a shout once again to my beautiful wife, Jody, who works in the background, getting this together, getting Snowman Multimedia together. I love you all very much. And Jody put the hammer down when she's agreed to be my business manager. She put the hammer down, and my spider senses are tingling. And for once, I'm going to pay attention. All right. I got a few words to say, and Victor's going to help me. For all you Brock Purdy haters, this is for you. I begin with the question, and it goes like this. Who the hell are you to say that Brock Purdy is not an MVP candidate and use his team against him? And use this team against him? Really? Is that your argument? Because he had a stacked team? I bring to mind Joe Montana, who won an MVP. I bring to mind Steve Young, who won 2 of them. And not to mention, Steve Young became the first quarterback in 49er history to, 4,000 passing yards. And he's the only quarterback in 49er history to do it twice. With 205 yards tonight, Brock Purdy will cross the 4,000-yard barrier and become only the 3rd quarterback in history to do so. Not even the legendary Joe Montana has a 4,000-yard season to his credit. And yet, y'all want to discredit Brock Purdy for taking the offense that he was taught by Kyle Shanahan and using it. Not to mention the fact, Cam Newton, you know what Brock Purdy did for 3 years in college? Or 4 years in college? Start football games. Learn football. You know what Brock Purdy did for 3 years in high school? Start football games. Now, I'm not saying you didn't start off 4 years in your high school years, but you only, to my recollection and my knowledge, only have one starting year, and that is at Auburn. Okay? And for you to say they're not winning because of him, how stupid can you be?
Yeah,
there, I said it. Either. Yeah, I said it. And I meant every word of it. How stupid can you be to think, even try to think, that they're not winning because of him, that they're winning in spite of Brock Purdy? You can somewhat make an argument for that for Jimmy Garoppolo due to his injuries, but at the same time, Jimmy Garoppolo won football games in San Francisco. Period.
Yes.
And once again, for you to say that Brock Purdy is not the reason the 49ers are winning, take a look at the games.
But wait a minute, he lost in Cleveland though.
Yeah, and
you can't lose in Cleveland.
Oh, many people have lost 2 and in Cleveland. That's why Cleveland's 10-5, and that's why they're in the playoff hunt. So shut it up. Period. Shut it up. If they're not winning because of Brock Purdy, Cam Newton, if Brock Purdy is just a game manager, I will use your words against you. If Brock Purdy is just a game manager, explain this.
Brown. Second down and short here. Purdy has one-on-one. George Kittle, goodbye! Heave-ho and a touchdown!
Tell me how he was able to hang in the pocket and deliver that. Tell me, Cameron Jarrell Newton. Tell me. I'll wait. If they're not winning because of Brock Purdy, then explain this one.
Purdy, a lot of room now. Odin up over the middle. Oh, what a catch by Kittle. Are you kidding? George Kittle.
Want to explain that one?
Yeah, me, I just would have ran.
Want to explain that one? Huh?
If it were me, I would have ran for the touchdown.
Of course.
You already know what's gonna. You already know what the answer is when it comes to stuff like that.
Oh, I know. I know it well. I know it well. And all these things that the people are coming up with are stupid.
Yes, I agree.
If they're not winning because of Brock Purdy, tell me why. Tell me how he throws 4 touchdowns against the Eagles. Tell me how that happens, huh? Tell me how he goes into Philadelphia. Explain to me. And thank you to Greg Papa and KMBR and Fox Sports for this. Tell me how this happens.
Red zone on the Philly 12-yard line. Ayuk goes in long motion left. It's Eli Mitchell now in, but it's an end around to Deebo Samuel coming right, turns the corner, and goes into the end zone. Touchdown! San Francisco!
He originated that. I didn't, Jody. He originated that. Jody likes to tease me whenever I make that call. But be that as it may. Tell me how he goes into Philadelphia and throws 4 touchdowns. Huh? Like this.
From the Lincoln Philly. Slide by Juszczyk left. Toss to McCaffrey going wide left. Turns the corner. Great run by McCaffrey all the way to midfield. Finally dropped on the Philly 48-yard line. First and 10 Niners in the Philly 48. Purdy looks left. Now middle, throws, caught. Broken tackle by Deebo Samuel. Runs for a first down. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown! San Francisco!
What an absolute beast!
Tell me that, huh? You don't have an answer, do you? You don't have an answer, do you, Cam? You don't have an answer, do you, Cam Newton?
Does he
You know
ever have an
why?
answer?
You know why? Because, simply put, and to knock your theory out of pocket, sir, Brock Purdy is a beast.
Did he have an answer for the Denver Broncos?
Of course not. Because he's too chicken to answer it. He is too chicken to answer the questions put before him. And he never will answer the questions before him for the simplest of reasons. He doesn't have an answer.
He doesn't. You can't have an answer for this team.
Oh, by the way, Cam, before I go forward, by the way, did you have a running back consistently to lean on?
Nope.
Did you? Brock Purdy does. His name's Christian McCaffrey. And there's a very, very good chance the MVP award that you won for only 8 games, Brock Purdy's going to win for 17 games for putting up the numbers that he put up and having a running back to lean on by the name of Christian McCaffrey, who's been healthy, by the way. You couldn't stay healthy at the tail end of your career. You couldn't throw the ball more than 10 yards. So to close up shop, I say this. Cam, you played the game. I respect you. Loved your play. Learn a better game before you talk about somebody. That's Snowman's take. What's yours? Spivey on the way. And I tell you what, for him to say that they're not winning because of him? Who told this lie?
Right.
That's all I can think of. Who told this lie?
I have no idea.
Let's find out. Jay Spivey joins us right now. Jay Spivey joins us right now. Good morning, Jay. How are you?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Spivey.
Okay, I got to throw this out there considering the huge game that's going on tonight. Why did Cam Newton say that the 49ers are not winning because of Brock Purdy?
Does he always have to make everything about himself? I'm serious.
I can't argue.
I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
I can't argue.
Can he just give anybody, whether it's Purdy or anybody? They're just dude?
No.
No, we cannot. Because he's still
Purdy at this point in their careers?
Because Cam is still smarting over the fact that he lost the Super Bowl.
Not on an active roster.
Mm-hmm.
Cam is still smarting over the fact that he lost the Super Bowl.
And you know, Victor said it will continue to say it. Cam is still smart in that he lost the Super Bowl, and he did lose the Super Bowl, and it's his fault.
And not only that, he got smacked in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he did.
Right.
He got beat up.
So now he's someone who can do.
And he's not been
better
the
than
same
him.
since
Yeah, and you're right. He hasn't been the same since then. But, all right, that's the answer I was looking for, and I gotta go there. Jay, you texted me something yesterday that had me laughing hysterically, and it goes like this: horrible clock mismanagement.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they can't get out of their own way. I mean, the dude, Ryan finally has a good game. He really played well yesterday. Even the team played pretty well. Now, you know you got no timeouts.
Yep.
You throw the ball, what was 25, 30 yards down the field.
Mm-hmm.
You know you got to get down the field as quick as possible, even if you do to throw down the field, which is a big gamble. And nobody's there. And then they blame the clock.
Yep.
And it had nothing to do with the referees. It was Adam Thielen's fault for not giving the ball to the referee after he got down.
Victor,
and everybody knows now that you got to give the ball to the referee.
Victor, does that sound familiar at all?
Something you learn in Pee Wee. Something that Dak apparently forgot.
And to Jay, and they signed this guy, Adam Thielen, for what?
He's their best receiver. That tells you all you need to know.
Uh-huh. It tells me everything I need to know, and that's why the Vikings let him walk.
Yeah, I mean he's a good receiver. He's not great. When he was with the Vikings, he was good, but not terrific.
Right.
He's not one receiver.
He really isn't.
Mm-mm.
Sad, but
so I go back. You know I'm not DJ Moore's biggest fan. You know that.
Yes.
But get back. Why make this trade with the Bears?
Didn't we talk about that draft night when they made this trade?
Mm-hmm.
There were enough quarterbacks in that draft. If you had to draft a quarterback, and I can still say this coming class is way better than last year's class.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
But nothing against Bryce Young.
And here's the crazy thing.
The two guys they were after.
Victor, go.
Did you have to sell?
Here's the crazy thing. Everybody thought that the Bears fleeced the Panthers and then Panthers fleeced the Bears. Everyone was saying, oh, they fleeced the other because DJ Moore's out of Carolina.
They'll be in the hole for years because of that trade.
Yep.
Right.
Both teams are.
Yes, they are.
Both teams are. And I am going to say something that I said to Jay yesterday, and a lot of people are not going to like it. It goes like this. Justin Fields is not a franchise quarterback. Granted, he's better than some of the others I've seen, but he ain't a franchise quarterback.
No,
Deal with it.
I would cut back. I know there's this big debate on what they should do because they have all these top picks.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like they one pick because of the Panthers.
Yep.
I Get whatever you can for him.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Grab Caleb Williams, and then whatever other pick they get with their own pick, because they keep trying to win.
Yes.
So, what are they getting now? It's like 7th or 8th now, looking like it.
Mm-hmm. Looks that
because
way.
Because they look like they're going to have 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm with you. Fields not the answer.
And
he's gonna get hurt eventually because he runs all the time.
Yes. I got in a fight late last night, early this morning. When I got back from taking my daughter to work, I got in a fight with someone from Chicago who said 74% of a poll, and I don't know where this poll is, cite your sources, please, that they want Justin Fields to stay. Well, Jay, you know me. Victor, you know me. I jumped all over that. And I said, Justin Fields is not a franchise quarterback. Get what you can for him and let him go.
I think they want to keep him because who wants to come to Chicago?
I really kind of have the feeling they're leaning toward keeping him too, and I think that's a huge mistake.
Awful mistake.
I think they're going to keep him. I think they're going to keep him because specifically, who wants to come to Chicago?
I just don't think he was a franchise quarterback.
He's not.
But again, who wants to play in Chicago behind an offensive line?
He's a really good running back who can throw the ball.
Cam Newton, anyone? Because that's what I see with Justin Fields, except a stronger arm.
Nearly as big as body type as Cam. And we've already seen the first couple of years, Fields can get injured.
Yes. He's like I said, I got in a fight with a couple of people online last night, and they were telling me I was making a mistake and not believing in Justin Fields. And I said, look, I can tell you a franchise quarterback when I see him. And of course, it went back to the Brock Purdy argument. And I said, let's see, Brock Purdy has thrown for 3,795 yards, another 205 tonight, and he'll do something only 2 other quarterbacks in 49er history have done, which is 4,000 yards. Never heard from that gentleman again.
And you're right. You're 100% right. But to me, this goes back to the emphasis the Niners, at least recently, on coaching.
Yes.
There was a long dry stretch, as we all remember.
Yep. There was. After the George Seifert era, there was a long dry spell.
Kyle Shanahan, I have some issues with him in terms of how he acts sometimes, but he can clearly coach. He's an excellent. And that's the difference between whether it be Eberflus or any other coach the Bears have had recently.
I still want to know what the hell an Eberflus is. I want to know what the hell an Eberflus is, because I've never heard the name until
I haven't either.
You know what makes it so bad? I never heard the name until my wife told me about him, because he was formerly with the Colts.
That's right. Yep.
And then she coupled it with, and you wonder why defensively they were doing so bad. Well, I got all the answers I needed, and my beautiful bride provided them to me. I still want to know. I mean, okay, this is more with Justin Fields. We know this is more of an organizational problem. David Tepper, take notes.
Yes.
This is an organization problem of people up top. David Tepper, take notes again, who meddle and meddle and meddle until they get what they want at this time. I mean, last week they were selling tickets for 45 cents.
Oh my
God! I know it's pouring down rain, like I told you last week.
Yep.
I give full credit to anybody who sat through that mess last week.
Same.
How does that team? But
that's crazy.
That was an embarrassing crowd for an NFL game. There was nobody there.
Nope. They were. How did one of my favorite channels is Urinating Tree? How did he put it? They were selling tickets for less than a Subway sandwich, and they were still social distancing themselves from Bank of America Stadium.
Yeah.
and it's obvious. I'm guessing management said something to the TV crew.
Mm-hmm.
Do not show the upper deck.
Oh yeah.
And I used to cut off the lower part of the deck too.
And that came down before they hit the air.
Oh yeah, I guarantee it did.
That decision came down before he hit the air. Before they hit the air.
I've seen many pictures on social media where I bet there weren't a couple thousand people that game. I'm serious.
I know, and I love it.
I bet you there weren't more than a couple thousand people there.
I wouldn't want to be there unless I'm sitting in the press box, and even that might frighten me. And I get it. With the stadium tour, I do plan to visit Bank of America Stadium. The caveat that I put on this tour, and Jody gave it to me, I don't visit any stadium unless I'm sitting in the box, unless I'm sitting in the press box. And let me tell this story. Let me tell this story again of why the Panthers as an organization have soured me, the broadcast operations thereof.
Mm-hmm.
Mick Mixon was my guest for 2 years. Jay has been on with me when I've had Mick on the program with me. Mick Mixon was a fabulous weekly guest.
Mm-hmm.
Fabulous. And he would say it like it was with the Panthers. He would tell it like it was. And I loved it. I hated that last interview we did before he did his final game as the voice of the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I got to tell you, that interview was like somber between us.
Yeah.
Because we knew it was going to be the last one. And we usually talk 30 minutes. We talked about 45 minutes that day. We talked 45 minutes that morning live, and I had a crowd around me because I was at Subway in Durham.
Mm-hmm.
I had a crowd around me that was tuning in, checking out the broadcast and listening to Mick Mixon. After Mixon retired, Anish Shroff was appointed the new voice of the Carolina Panthers. I had a friend say to me, "Why don't you apply to be the voice of the Panthers?" Well, one, my health was going sideways, and two, they wouldn't know what to do with me because I actually know what I'm doing.
You were spoken your mind.
Exactly. I tell it like it is. And I always will. I'm not a yes man, nor will I ever be a yes man. Anish Shroff, however,
whether it be the Panthers or any other professional group, these owners do not like when you speak your mind anymore.
They don't.
Look what happened to the Orioles this past summer.
Yep. They mistakenly and wrongfully suspended their television play-by-play announcer because of a timed graphic that he went over. For nothing. A timed graphic that they discussed in a pre-production meeting. I've been in these pre-production meetings. Victor, you've run a couple of pre-production meetings for me.
Yes, I have.
In my absence when I was very ill.
Yes, I have.
We have to come to an agreement on whatever graphic is going to be shown or whatever stats going to be talking about or what story is going to be told. And I will say it again, for those of you that don't know, there was a month stretch when I was covering Chicago State that I was sicker than a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Victor ran the production meetings for me. All I had the strength to do was come to game night.
Right.
And we had a meeting and we have a quick meeting, about an hour.
Yeah.
And go over what's going on. And people knew I was sick.
And what we're actually going to display.
Exactly. With all that being said, I contacted Anish Shroff as soon as he was appointed the voice of the Panthers. I told him congratulations. I explained to him, I had a standing segment with Mick Mixon to talk Panthers. I'd love to have the same with you to talk Panthers. When I told him congratulations, he said thank you, and that's all he said to me.
It seems like the Panthers media was trying to distance themselves from any other local media.
Oh yeah. And you can go to the head honcho for that. And you can go to the head honcho. You can go to the head honcho for that.
because they need everything to be pro Panthers rather than
How much
being
people
more
around there
objective.
walking on eggshells around the Panthers organization these days?
Say that again, Jay.
I imagine most of the people who work in the Panthers organization walk on eggshells.
Yes.
I'm not surprised.
Sorry, is that organization?
I'm not surprised. I wrote to them wanting to cover a game and be in the press box, and they, quote unquote, let me do this right. Cole, this is for you. I emailed the Panthers saying I would like to cover the Panthers for a game for my organization, and they, quote, politely, close quote, turned me down. Does that tell you anything? I had more access at UNC and Wake Forest than I had with the Panthers when I lived down there. And it ain't easy to get access at Wake Forest.
No, it's not.
I had more access at Wake Forest and UNCG and UNC when I lived down there. Hell, even when I moved back up here to Indiana, I had more access to UNC and UNCG, I beg your pardon, and Wake Forest than I did with the Panthers. What's that tell you? Hell, I got a friend who just happened. You know what? The thing with Anish Shroff got on my nerve, but for the last 2 years, I've had a wonderful gentleman by the name of Matt Taylor, who just happens to be the radio voice of the Indianapolis Colts, join me each and every week unless a time conflict happens, or unless, like I did last Friday, I was out with the wife. We were scheduled to tape at 3, couldn't make it. I spent the day with Jody, and Matt wrote back to me and said, brother, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You think that ain't going to be a lifetime guest for me?
Also, you have an organization like the Indianapolis Colts,
And you wonder why I sent you that email text this afternoon or morning about the Panthers and the Hornets.
Yes. Oh yes.
And with the Giants being on TV today, the Panthers are now going to be only one of 7 NFL teams that have not been on Christmas Day.
Yep.
The Hornets. We all know how important Christmas Day is to the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
The Hornets today, again, still are the only team in NBA history never to have been on
Never to play on Christmas Day.
The only ones.
Never to
Even
play.
Years in the 80s and 90s were all those really good teams, and they were never on Christmas Day.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Not the Muggsy Bogues team.
Which is sad.
None of those guys. Kendall Gill, all those guys.
Yep. Never played on Christmas Day. Never played on Christmas Day.
I mean, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And Charlotte is not a small market, despite what people think.
Right.
Charlotte's a fairly large market.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It is.
It's way bigger than some of these other cities in the NBA.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth?
Memphis, Oklahoma State, New Orleans. I mean, Salt Lake City. I can name off a bunch of cities.
Mm-hmm. Same.
It's a joke.
It's a big joke.
It is, and
it's a big joke. You know, the same turn down I got from the Panthers. Guess what? I got it from the Hornets.
Shocker.
Because again, you're going to speak honestly, and right now everyone is like, we need to have everything to be pro Panthers and pro Hornets.
Surprise.
I got even though. 3 weeks later.
I would never believe that Carolina sports media Carolina sports would be so thin-skinned that they can't take any criticism.
Victor, at another time, I will share some stories with you from all the shows I did in Durham at the Starbucks there, and people applauding me for speaking the truth about the local teams.
Mm-hmm.
and the equal amount of people getting PO'd at me for speaking the truth about their local team.
Well, you know, because I told you, I got just skewered because of what I said over the Panthers and Hornets over the years.
Yep. And when you warned me of that, Jay, after the first couple of times we hooked up on the air, and I saw it myself, I launched right in and said, look, I'm speaking the truth no matter what.
Right.
I'm speaking the truth no matter what. And if they don't like it, oh well. I spoke. I've had many a conversation. I'll mention Mick Mixon again. Many a conversation with him. And he said, you know what? Let me put the cherry on the cake. You know what Mixon said the last day he was on with me? He said, whoever takes my place, they need to be on your show.
Yeah, I agree.
He said it all year. He's always been honest. He's been so giving of his time, and he was just terrific.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as a guest and as a friend. And he said, look, I'm going to do my best to tell the Panthers organization whoever succeeds me needs to be on Snowman in the Morning to talk Panthers each and every week. They need to have a standing appointment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know this as well as anybody. Look at the history of sports. Going back 100 years. We're doing it to the advent of radio.
Mm-hmm.
I'll strictly talk about the most part. Although TV is more into the culture now.
Yep.
Look how important radio was to sports
mm-hmm.
in the early days. And how important that announcer was to the culture.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Whether you have somebody like Vince Scully,
mm-hmm.
who everybody says was the best baseball announcer ever.
Yeah.
Look how important he was to not only when he was in LA, but when he was in Brooklyn.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He followed the Dodgers to Los Angeles.
And I'll speak strictly for myself, having grown up a Braves fan, when the TBS was the only game in town.
Yep.
They were on every single night. And
mm-hmm.
I listened to Ernie Johnson and Skip Carey and Pete Van Leeuwen every single night.
Mm-hmm.
And when they all died, I burst into tears.
That was me with Jim Durham.
Mm-hmm.
He was great.
I mean, Jim Durham stole my broadcast heart in 1985 in a playoff game against Sidney Moncrief and the Milwaukee Bucks. And I had the single vision, if they can do it, I can do it. Jim Durham and Johnny Kerr was it for me. I mean, love some of the announcers that I hear now, but if I picked one, and Dan Patrick asked me this on the air, and I'm going to play that interview for you guys. Dan Patrick asked me, and this is how we'll close up shop today. Dan Patrick asked me, when you do a game, whom do you call on to guide you? Which voice do you call on to guide you? The first person I mentioned was Jim Durham.
Mm-hmm.
I got so many Jim Durham games on my jump drive, it's not even funny. That's who I call on. And radio and the simulcast is very important, and that's the style that I call games.
Right.
They'll never get it right.
No.
Nope. They'll never understand the radio culture and how many fans they're losing because of how their broadcasts are delivered. Go ahead, Jay.
All these owners and these ownership groups want you to literally kiss their rear ends.
Yes. And that's all
you cannot about anybody anymore.
I can't. I won't do it. I won't do it. That's why I have Snowman Multimedia and Snowman Multimedia Radio. I won't do it. Jay Spivey joins us as he does every single Monday. Oh man, watch the YouTube page because we're going to start putting up Spivey Notes as well as Under the Boom Shakalaka, as well as Coffee with McCarthy. We're going to be putting all that stuff up on the YouTube page. And next year, beginning in January, we're really going to have it organized. Thank you, Jay. Love you, brother, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Mr.
Thank
Spivey.
you. Thank you very much.
Couldn't go wrong with Jim Durham at any time. Could not go wrong with Jim Durham and Johnny Kerr. All right. I got to change. I got to go to a Christmas party at my in-laws. Victor, brother, thank you so much for riding shotgun with me today. I really appreciate you. I love you. And happy birthday and Merry Christmas. And enjoy being 40.
Thank you so much, Snowman. And Merry Christmas. And thank you so much for having me on.
Not a problem. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
Love you, brother.
Well, I got to get out of here. I got to see some people. I got to talk to some people with my family. And then I got to come home, get a nap, and get ready for one big fat broadcast tonight. And y'all know what I'm up to tonight. Monday Night Football, the Baltimore Ravens and the San Francisco 49ers. We start the party at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And boy, it's going to be a long night. It's going to be a busy night, and I'm going to love every single moment of it. Have a great Christmas. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, then they're just simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are, and we hope y'all are too. Merry Christmas, everybody. See you tomorrow.